It's live at 5 on a Wellness Wednesday with your girl Jazzy T. And today I am inviting a psychologist to come and speak with us a little bit because if you're anything like me, it's been some trying times. I'll tell you, boy, it is difficult to say the least.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. What's up with you?
This is my quarantine look. I'm quarantining. Yes, so I am based out of the DMV area and I love it here. I went to University of Maryland College Park, did a little sorority thing. Shout out to my AKAs. And I started my practice, I would say 2 years ago, and I specialize with working with children and teenagers. And I also work in the area of anxiety and depression. So that is a big thing. In the Black community, it's something that we really just don't talk about too often. We don't talk about when we're feeling anxiety. We don't really know how to be a good friend to someone who is experiencing this. So what we're finding in these trying times is people are having very, very, very difficult times transitioning from either working from home or not having a job at all. Okay. With your kids, how do you do that? How do you raise your children, all day while working, and how do you manage that? And so a lot of what my work is based out of working with individuals and couples as well.
In most major cities, they're seeing an increase in domestic violence.
Yes.
911 calls have jumped 20% in some major cities. Now you're on lockdown with your abuser, right? But beforehand, we had different outlets. We could go out with our friends, or we, at the movies, or, we're going shopping, or we're taking a trip, or we're just simply going to a work, right? You go there and I'll see you back home for dinner, but now it's all day, every day. There's loss of jobs. So there's a financial stress there. What words of encouragement or action steps can we take if we find ourselves in those type of situations?
Being self-aware is extremely important, because when you're self-aware and you know how you're going to react and you know how you need to respond to situations, you typically can either get out of the house and go take a walk, and your spouse, by the way. When they're getting ready to be on their irate tantrums, or that the things that trigger them. So you just want to be mindful and be aware of that. The second thing is, love doesn't look like domestic violence ever. It doesn't look like me putting my hands on you, you putting your hands on me. Right. It doesn't look like me calling you names because I'm upset. This is a time where couples need to really lean and be dependent on each other. So one thing that I want to stress to anyone that's in a domestic violence situation is to come up with a plan to leave. Because in this time, if someone is putting their hands on you through stress, they can't be there for you when it's good times. So those are really important words that I want to give to someone out here that may be experiencing that. The other piece of it is, I think that when you don't have an outlet, you have to find something new and creative to do. You really do. You have to. And they didn't say that you couldn't go outside and take a walk, but we get out of our routines. And so once you get out of your routine, there's a loss of control that you may be feeling. So I think that getting a routine, waking up every day, taking a shower, getting dressed as if you were getting ready to go somewhere, and then implementing a workout and implementing some conversation that you can have with your spouse that's productive. And for my singles, that toxic relationship that you were in, let's leave it there. Okay. Let's not disguise these messages. I hope you and your family are doing well around this time. Hey, big head. Though you knew he was toxic when you left him or when he cheated on you. So let's not revisit that just because we're lonely.
Right.
Find some things to do that can keep your mind busy and not trying to go into a relationship that wasn't any good for you before, because it's not going to be good for you now. So once somebody shows you their true colors, you should just believe them. So that's very important, because I'm seeing a lot of singles, thinking about going back to those old relationships.
Right.
And nothing's going to change, COVID-19 or not.
Right. Exactly. My husband just walked in here. I'm like, yesterday was the kids. Today's him.
I love it.
So I want to talk to you about the power of emotions and your thoughts. right now we're being bombarded with so much fear mongering, right? And, be afraid of your neighbor, don't touch anything, and so you're like constantly in the state of fear.
It's all connected. Your body tells you, the anxiety comes from a trigger or your brain saying, I got to be cautious or aware of something, right? And that's out of fear because we're scared. So we tend to either overreact, or we can either manage this emotion, this fear. And so for some people, their overreaction, in order to want to feel safe, may be going to the store, buying 40 rolls of toilet paper tissue. That might be an overreaction. However, that gives them some sort of conditioning to feel safe. They feel good about what they've done.
Okay.
So
and that doesn't hurt anybody except for the person who needs toilet paper. But
correct, like me. The people I'm on my 2-plies now. I got to get 3-ply toilet paper, but someone has bought it all up from the store. But what I would just tell people to do in terms of managing their emotions, because you can get stressed out, you can start to get depressed, and those negative thoughts can put you in the bed for 2-3 days, can have you not taking a shower, can have you not making any movement, and your brain is saying, oh my goodness, something is wrong, and you're going to acquiesce to that. So, and that may not be a real emotion. Maybe nothing really is going on. It's just that you're overthinking the situation. So what I want to advise people is just to be realistic. Really embrace what's going on. Yes, it's a pandemic out here. Yes, this is a very serious disease. Yes, you can die from it if you are at risk. And so I want everyone to take precautions, but you have to do what you need to do to feel safe. And your mental health comes first. So set boundaries. If you are drained with talking to people and continuously hearing about the same old, what Trump said on the briefings and all of that, it's okay to tell people, I just need a moment. I'm okay. Just leave me alone. Give me like 10 minutes, or give me a day to myself. What are the things that I can control? I can control watching TV. My favorite show on Netflix, I can control that. I can control writing that book that I've been wanting to write. I can control that. Those are things that I can do right now that can make me feel good. So I think that's important.
Anything that can make the room maybe a little bit brighter. Get a can of paint. Go to work, maybe get that yellow room you always saw on HDTV and you were like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Try it. Because guess what? You got time. You can paint back over it.
Exactly. Do exactly what you need to do to feel good in this situation, because it's just temporary. It won't be like this forever. So this is just one chapter. It isn't the whole story in your book. And it definitely is. It's frightening, to say the least, with some of the way that these government officials are responding. However, you have to do what you can do within the provisions that you can be safe. So I just want to really stress that, go open the curtains, get some sunlight on a day like today. Again, exercise is pivotal in curing anxiety. So you may not feel like you want to go outside, but put your quarantine playlist on, and get the walk in, and sing out loud. I just had to sing Meg the Stallion. I don't even know who that is, but I've been trying to learn the lyrics to the Savage song.
So you can do a TikTok.
So I could do a TikTok. And I'm out here. I know my white neighbors was looking at me like I was crazy, but I just screamed it out. I'm a savage.
Hey,
pussy. All of that stuff. And that's, that's fun. And by the time I got in the house and I'm like, oh my God, how am I feeling right now? I'm feeling really great. What else do I need to do to tackle the day?
Encourage people to keep your vibrations up. Continue to check in on your friends and family, especially those who are, wearing the face mask, a homemade face mask. They might be using a scarf that they can't breathe through, and that's another cause for concern. Domestic violence, as we already mentioned, is on the rise. Child molestation, is also on the rise, because, all of that type of violence comes from a state of trying to gain control, right?
Exactly.
And we're all experiencing a little bit of loss of control, because for the first time in my life, I can't just get up and go out and do exactly what I want to do in the way of even Hustle for Health. We had a group fitness program in 5 different locations around Buffalo and Rochester. And now I can't do the class the way I want to do it. I have to do it online.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it makes you feel some type of way, you know, and you want to take it out on somebody. And that's how kids get hurt. And that's how partners get hurt. And that's how, you beat yourself up. Because it's like, oh, how could I be so stupid? I should have set up an online class weeks or months ago. you know, instead of scrambling to do it now. And honestly, that's the way I've been feeling lately, you know, just really snappy, you know, just like, you know, because it's been 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Dr. Thompson, it's been 7 weeks with no end in sight here in New York.
Yeah. It's hard. And I feel you. And you have to go through that. That's the process of grieving and mourning. And this is, you can do that. We relate that term to death, but it really is when something doesn't happen the way that you want to, you have to kind of mourn it. So I wanted to have a conference. I wanted to do these things, and I had planned and I had put money and I had invested into it. And I feel you when you say, oh my goodness, snappy, frustrated. Absolutely. You take a day to yourself. There has to be a different way. Breathing does work. And I try to give this technique to my clients a lot because I want them to understand how being with a sound mind and a sound body is important. Being in sync. So taking 10 deep breaths. And I know it seems stupid, in through your nose and out through your mouth.
Yes.
And when you really do this and you're just quieting your mind, after you're done, you can kind of come down and you're grounded. It's a grounding technique. And so you want to be grounded, and then you say, all right, it didn't go the way that I wanted to go, but God is moving me in a different direction. Exactly. I have a different purpose now. There's a different way that I have to touch people. And so what I will say is technology, this platform that you're using, is amazing for that. You know, so yeah, you may be fumbling, it may not be right, but you know, we got a couple more weeks in this thing. So you have time to perfect it.
I like
you get it wrong this week, you shoot at it again next week. So it is a good time to pick up a new skill set. And so doing that and YouTubing, this is the time that we all complain that we didn't have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is so true. Say it again.
This is that time. So whatever time that you said that you were stressed out because you couldn't get it done, you couldn't do it, this is your time to research. This is your time to figure out how to start that podcast. And even if you don't get to it right now, just researching, because you didn't have time to do that, remember? You know, so those are my little words of wisdom that I would want to give to anyone. And if you're feeling like you're really, really down, go seek a mental health professional.
Yes. And so how can anybody reach you?
They can reach me via Instagram at Dr. Thompson. I'm on Therapy for Black Girls. They can look me up at psychologytoday.com. I am there. Go to my website, www.rochellemthompson.com. And I am just the ear to listen. I'm here for it. You know, a lot of what the therapist won't tell you is that they're required to do some sort of community work and not really charge the rates that we know that they're supposed to charge.
I'm listening.
Yes. So if it's a concern about money, you know, you need to just have that conversation with your therapist and let them know, hey, I don't have $175 an hour. Could you do some sort of pro bono or community? Because that's a part of their requirement to be a therapist. So I want you guys to know that.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, Rochelle Thompson, thank you so much for coming on IG Live with your girl Jazzy T. And I look forward to working with you again.
Yes. Connect with me. Whatever you got going on with Hustle for Help, I think that that's amazing. And I want to help you with it, girl. I love what you're doing, and continue to grind out. I love it.